Hello everybody, welcome back to another part of not another part, I guess it's another story. Story number 2 of 7 in the Interactive Horror Stories series. So in the last series we did the doll. We ended up getting murdered by our daughter, but I replayed it and I got the good ending, which basically she confesses to wanting to murder us, but doesn't. So if that's good in your book, then I got the good ending. Today we're going to be playing the after funeral one. And I actually enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. I thought I wasn't really going to like this, so I hope you guys like it as well. I haven't posted the doll yet, so I'm not quite sure what your reactions are on it. But yeah, we're going to jump into the funeral. We're going to jump into after funeral. Really quickly though, before we jump into gameplay, I have a very exciting announcement. I can finally talk about it. I started a podcast. So me and my best friend Kayla, also known as Nightly Aries here on YouTube, started a podcast. It is called the J&K Podcast. J for Justice, because that's my real name if you guys don't know, and K for Kayla. So yeah, it's the JK Podcast. You can listen to it on Spotify and SoundCloud. We are debating on if we want to make a YouTube channel for it, but at the moment it's audio only, so there is no YouTube. But Spotify and SoundCloud are free. Just look up the JK Podcast. Our first episode should be posted the same day this video goes live, so that's really exciting. Yeah, and we've been having a blast with that. So anyways, I don't want to talk about that too much. Let's jump into After Funeral. After Funeral is a modern Gothic horror story that takes place 3 days after your son's burial. You receive messages in his computer. Those claim to be sent by your son's soul. He says that he wants to be with you once again, and he asks you to do a few things in order to be resurrected. Will you believe in the messages? So we're going to go ahead and play. You used to be a father. Mother, thank you very much. It has been 3 days since your son, Jonathan White, was buried in the graveyard of the local church. He was 8 years old. He had golden hair and blue eyes, just like the beloved man in the Carpenter song, Close to You. Since your wife passed away giving birth to Jonathan, and since he has been your everything, he was your angel, and now he is gone. He died on a snowy winter morning. You have gone to the market, leaving him alone at home. When you arrive at home, you found Jonathan lying on the bed motionless. His face was covered with the pillow, choked. Police couldn't find any trace of trespassing. You clearly remember the solemn moments of Jonathan's funeral. In fact, you try to forget, but the details are in front of your eyes and they won't go away. The priest has intoned psalms and prayers. Oh my gosh. Those you are not so familiar with. You are not so religious. While the lifeless body of your son laid in the church, his feet were turned to the east. He was wearing a black suit and shiny shoes. His skin was pale. He was too young for all this. You wish it was you lying there instead of him. Like the day Jonathan died, it's a snowy day in all of Ohio. There are 3 inches of snow outside. It's 1400 now, which again, if you don't know military time, that's 2 p.m. You were a writer who had been on writer's block since that day. Your favorite word processor is open in the computer. The screen is blank. You haven't written anything for a long time. If my son just passed away, the last thing I would be wanting to do is write a book or write a story or whatever. I mean, I guess I've never experienced it, so I don't know, but I don't think I would. Anyways, there are cigarette butts in the ashtray and your black hot coffee in a blue cup on your work table. You chain smoke and consume a lot of coffee nowadays. I don't like the very teeny tiny little sounds. As you're sipping your coffee, the doorbell rings. We're gonna open it, obviously. You open the door. It's Bob, your neighbor and friend. You had drunk beers and had barbecues with him several times. Bob is a nice guy. He is overweight, has short black hair, and has no facial hair. He wears a dark blue jacket and black beanie. Hey, how are you? I wanted to ask how you have been. I'm not going to say I'm fine, because anyone who says they're fine 3 days after a child dies is obviously lying, and everyone's going to know it. So I'm just going to say I'm still depressed. Bob replies, I can imagine how hard it is. I never had kids, but I had a cat when I was younger. I loved her as my daughter. Then I had to bury her in the garden myself. It was tough. I know how much you love Jonathan. I'm shocked, like you, to see him gone. Comparing your cat's death to someone's child's death, especially when it's so recent, is not smart. Please do not do that. Bob continues, I'm going to the market right now. Do you need anything? You remember that you are out of cigarettes. I mean, we might as well ask him for them. So yes, I need cigarettes. Oh, you need cigarettes? He puts his hand in his pocket, then pulls out a pack of cigarettes. Maybe I'm a bad friend for doing this, but anyways, take them. I'll buy myself another pack in the market. You take the pack that has 10 cigarettes inside and thank him. Okay, man, see you later. You say goodbye to Bob, too. Then he goes. You close the door and sit back on your work table. You look at the computer screen that should have been blank, but no, it's not blank. Something is written. Daddy, I missed you. Shout Jonathan, type Jonathan, or turn off the computer. Honestly, I feel like my natural reaction to this would be to shout Jonathan. So we're going to go with that one. After you shout your deceased son's name out, new letters appear and form a reply. Yes, it is me. You are not a computer engineer, but you know that it is possible to hack someone's computer and put a prank on him if the computer is online. Your computer is connected to the internet with the Ethernet cable. Honestly, I wouldn't even think about that. I would just say, like, how is this possible, you know? So we're going to say that. Good Lord said that I should be together with you. He said that I love you and you love me, so he sent me back. Honestly, at this point, I would be a little scared, so we're going to go ahead and turn off the computer. You turn off the computer and the monitor screen goes black. Then nothing else appears on the screen. You don't find anything to write in your novel, so you don't need to turn on the computer once again. And yes, also the text disturbed you. You don't experience anything supernatural during the rest of the day. At night, you take your sleeping pills and fall asleep. You have a vivid dream. You see Jonathan in a garden with green grass and a colorful flower. He runs around with happiness and angels. There are white-dressed angels around him. Everyone is smiling. You are not a part of this dream. Jonathan doesn't see you, but you are still content with seeing him happy in the Eden. He was always a benevolent boy after all. He deserved to go to heaven. Oh my God, I'm sick of that freaking doorbell. You wake up to the sound of the doorbells ring, I think. You look at the clock. It is 10 a.m. You wear your slippers and open the door. It's Bob. Hello, I need to show you something. He holds the newspaper in his hand. There's anxiety on his face. You take the newspaper. It's Ohio's local newspaper. Another kid choked to death. Officers are investigating the curious case of repeated deaths of kids in the state. Yesterday night, a 6-year-old boy, Kevin Madsen, was found dead in his bed by his parents. His face was covered with his pillow. What makes it interesting for officers is that it is the 7th time a boy died this way this month in Ohio. Recently, 8-year-old Jonathan White also died with the pillow on his face. Sheriff Wolcott states that he finds the recent events quite interesting. Yeah, quite interesting, I'm sure. The end. There are 2 possible endings. Okay, so I'm going to go through and try and figure out how to get the other ending. So let's not open the door. The doorbell rings once again, but you don't respond. It's probably Bob, your neighbor and friend. You feel an urge to wash your face. Despite the cold day, your face somehow got sweaty. After washing your face, you look at the reflection in the mirror. You notice that your eyes are red, mostly of crying and being sleepless. You use sleep pills. You turn back to your work computer. Okay, so this time we're going to respond like through the computer. You type Jonathan at the computer. The new letters get appended at the text in the screen. Whoever types it, he, she, it, writes fast. When they are finished, they form 2 sentences. I can hear you, Daddy. Talk to me. So we're just going to continue talking, and I think that's how you get the other ending. So we're going to shout Jonathan. He says, yes, it's me. How is this possible? He wants us to be together. Say, oh, I'm so afraid, Daddy. It is cold and dark. I'm so cold here. Please bring me back. Do you want to see me once again? Obviously, yes. Find 5 candles and wait for the midnight. Bye for now, Daddy. You have only got 1 candle at home. You normally use the candle when the electricity is gone, so you didn't need more than 1 candle before. What do you do? We're going to go to the market. I feel like if we randomly asked our neighbor to go buy us 4 candles, he'd be like, what the fuck? So we're going to go buy them. So you wear your long beige coat and black leather boots and walk to the market to buy 4 candles. You also buy a pack of cigarettes despite you knowing that your habit will be your demise. You just don't care. Then you return home. At home, you wait in front of your monitor. Nothing happens till midnight. Then a new message appears on the screen. I am back, Daddy. Did you bring the candles? Yes, we did. Good. Let me explain how you can bring me back. Honestly, if you believe this, you're so gullible. Like, if you actually believe this was real, I can't. Go to the cemetery, dig my grave, bring my coffin home. So I can say, what? Oh, wow. Or, okay. So I'll say, okay. We shall speak again once you bring my coffin. You know it's insane what you do, but you get prepared to get outside. You wear your coat and get outside your home. It's snowing like hell, a cold interpretation of hell. Outside, the sky has a bright purple color illuminating the night with the help of a full moon behind the clouds. You get in your car and start it. The street and road are empty. There's only you outside in this hour of the night. It doesn't take long to arrive to the church and its graveyard. Graveyard is covered with snow and gray mist. No lights come from the church. Either there is nobody inside or the priest is sleeping. That's good. You can't be seen while digging your son's grave. You find the graves of your son and wife. Jonathan White was buried next to his mother. There's an unoccupied area next to them. You will be buried there when your time comes. You search for a shovel. You find it in about 10 minutes. You're ready to dig the grave. Well, we only have one option, dig the grave. You start digging Jonathan's grave. After 6 feet of digging, you reach the little wooden coffin. You climb down, then carry the coffin up. After that, you climb up and carry the dirty coffin to your car's back seat. You have never done something this bizarre before. After you reach home, you get out of your car. I'm assuming this was originally put in Turkish and then translated, which is why the English isn't like 100% accurate, but you can read through the mistakes, okay? And carry the coffin home. Luckily, there's nobody around. You drag the coffin to your living room center, and you don't care about the floor getting dirty with soil. Thank you, Daddy, gets written on the screen. Now put the candles around my coffin like a star. Obviously, we're going to agree with everything. Like, if you go to the lengths of digging up his coffin and bringing it to your house, like, you can put the candles around his coffin like a star. It's not that big of a deal. Okay? You carefully place the candles around the coffin, making it the center of a star. You light them with your lighter. Now read these aloud, Daddy. I'm kind of like, am I doing a seance right now if I read this aloud? A lonely goat on a mountain. He is thirsty for humanly love and affection. I shall give him the water. So we're going to read it out loud. You read the lines. I literally just said it. And the coffin starts to shake. The coffin's lid gets open slowly. You see Jonathan opening the lid and rising up. His skin is pale, almost white. You can smell the rot of his undead corpse. He's wearing the black suit you couldn't forget. He stands on his feet, smiles at you, then steps outside the coffin, away from you without saying anything. And he does something you wouldn't expect from dead. He dances. He dances with joy. After half a minute, he stops dancing, stares at you. His eyes are still blue. Take me in your arms, Daddy. Take me to the bathroom. I want to show you something. It is impossible not to obey what he says. You feel his presence dominating the room, overwhelming you, and it's impossible to say no. You crouch down and take him in your arms. You carry him to the bathroom. You bring him in the dark bathroom. You turn on the light and get horrified by what you see in the mirror. The boy's reflection is different. His skin is burnt like coal. Jonathan has an innocent and handsome face, but the face you see is so far from being pleasant. It is like a really old man's face who is also very ugly, and he has no hair. I always wanted a daddy like you, says the eldritch abomination you hold in your arms. The end. So basically what he brought back was definitely not his son. 100% not his son. Well, that was After Funeral. I hope you guys enjoyed. Personally, I like the doll a little bit better, but you know, there's 5 other things for us to explore. We're gonna do Crystal Skull next, and then I know technically there's something in between it, but we're gonna do Crystal Skull and then Crystal Skull 2, just because why not? But yeah, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy this, let me know by commenting, subscribing, liking, all that fun stuff. If you do not enjoy this series, that's okay. I do plenty of other things on my channel that you can check out. This is just a very quick and easy to film and very quick and easy to edit also, so it's kind of nice in that sense. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and I will see your lovely, lovely faces in my next video. Bye, guys.